Welcome back, viewers. You're still on to the press, and we're reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by our guest who's going to help us analyze the top stories we read out to you earlier. His name is Aliyu Usman Waziri, who's a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
So good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's start from where the shoe pinches the most, because that's how I see it. That's how we basically see it. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, there's a story that says FG's policy somersault responsible for petrol price war between Dangote-NNPC. That's coming from the NLC president. It's no news that there's been some sort of toggle between Dangote and NNPC. Why is NNPC wanting to be the sole buyers of Dangote petrol? There's also, that's on one side. There's also the argument of, oh, you sold to us at so rates, and Dangote coming out to say, no, we didn't sell at that rate, but we transacted in dollar. There are questions of why should there be a transaction in a foreign currency in a country where that's not a legal tender? And what's this drama around this back and forth? You didn't do this, you didn't supply us this much, you supplied us this much. Where are we headed?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me make something very clear from what you just mentioned, the last word. Dangote refinery has made it very clear that what they have refined at the moment and what they have put in the Nigerian market, this was what they imported outside the country, was not what they have given from Nigerian NNPC. 2, they said we are going to start the Naira deal by 1st of August, by 1st of October. That statement is there. So the transaction in between NNPC and Dangote refinery, it comes, the reason why it was in a dollar rate was because it had an imported fuel by Dangote. So that one is cleared. And
imported fuel by Dangote?
Yes.
Or imported crude?
Imported crude.
Okay. So
a petroleum product generally. Yeah. That was the reason why that the first transaction was in dollar rate and
well,
whatever.
Does that justify why it should be sold in dollars?
Yes, he bought it in dollars.
In dollars, yes.
So if he wants to, if you look at, if he wants to sell it in the Naira, he's not going to, if you're not going to buy absolutely. What is being expected to him as a profit might likely at the end of the day be a loss to him. But there is already an arrangement that by the time Nigerian government or NNPC has issued him ABCD, at the end of the day, he issued a statement from the refinery saying that 1st of October, our Naira transaction is going to start taking place. So Nigerians should calm down.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what do you now think about the policy somersault coming from the NLC president? The
NLC president is into, I think, 1 or 2 traumas. I don't want to speak in from being Angola and an APC member, but I'm just looking at it. It's trying to bring some tensions within Nigerians and the government, because he's going through 1 or 2 investigations, with those ones are legally being investigated by the police and so on. Even you see, I think last week he was in the DSS facility for questioning and all that. So if he's coming out to tell Nigerians that the issue of fuel and whatever, maybe there might likely be a motive around that. But
what kind of motive?
I think the motive, if you remember, the first day invitation was issued to the NLC president. The union says they should be any threat to their president, they're going to shut down this country. And the police came out. I saw, I think, an interview by their spokesperson in Channels Television, where they are trying to clarify for Nigerians in between the persons who being the NLC president and the Union of Labour. They are 2 different people.
Of course, I think I literally said that one time, like, they invited Joe Ajero, not the NLC president.
Yes.
So why would
so if he's making a statement at this very critical time of his answering calls from one government agency to another, that I think should be something different. But if he's trying to make a chaos around what is paining Nigerians at the moment, because Nigerians are going through...
Sorry to cut you. Don't you think that for him to come out to speak, he's not speaking as Joe Ajaero now. He's speaking as the NLC president, Nigeria Labour Congress president, which, because petrol tends to affect every aspect of our lives.
Yes.
Coming from education. In fact, we have parents already screaming about educational bills.
The lives of Nigerians have not remained the same ever since this petrol saga.
Exactly. So he's speaking for the nation. And exactly because looking at it again, we just got an increase in minimum wage. And
which
just,
is yet to...
Yes, just when the minimum wage agreement has been signed for 70,000 naira, you cannot even fill your fuel tank with 70,000 naira.
Well,
So how do you get to eat food?
first of all, it's not every Nigerian that drives a car. Two, if you want to talk about people who cannot be able to fuel their cars with 70,000 naira, I think that's a topic itself. But do not forget, the same government that is increasing, because if you say petroleum, you are talking about PMS, generally that affect the movement of one thing to another. Same Nigerian government had announced that we are going to convert 1 million commercial vehicles.
How long will that take? That has been in conversation since the day there was an announcement that subsidy has been removed.
Not at all. No. Maybe people are just...
Oh, you're talking about the new CNG kits that is being given from persons to persons. We have about 220 million people in this country, and they're going to give 1 million.
Okay.
That's supposed to make any impact.
Let me make you to understand this part. It's very important for our viewers and Nigerians at
Beautiful.
large.
Okay.
If government says commercial vehicles, you talked about how PMAs affect almost the aspect of our life.
Everything, not almost.
Okay, now, the CNG, 1 liter of CNG is sold at the rate of 230 naira.
For now.
For now. If you command 1 million commercial vehicles, 1 million commercial vehicles that moves goods from one state to another, the prices that are being affected now are going to be what? The prices are going to be reviewed automatically. I was coming through the airport, I saw about almost 20,000 Dangote trucks that used to transport cement are standing in front of NIGCOMSAT filling station where they are taking their CNG. If you go there, the locations is there, it's confirmable. If you go there, you can see how Nigerians are converting their cars from this to that. Another thing again is this whole fuel matter. The removal of this fuel subsidy was not happening from the 29th of May when Asiwaju has taken power from President Muhammadu Buhari. Not at all. And so many Nigerians are not aware.
So that again, sorry?
So many Nigerians are not aware that the removal of fuel subsidy with the coming of petroleum industry bill by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration that has not captured the appropriation, the fuel subsidy in the appropriation document in 2023 appropriation bill. So many Nigerians, half of Nigerians are not aware, because President Muhammadu Buhari has removed subsidy even before stepping out of the government.
Without announcing.
Without announcing. But let me take
because he didn't make allocation for
what President Muhammadu Buhari did was this. He removed the fuel subsidy immediately after the petroleum industry bill is in place. And he said, we can only pay subsidy until 30th of June.
2023.
Now, what President Asiwaju did was this. He has 3 months after he was elected as a president to review for every stakeholder holding 1 or 2 important positions in the country to report to him. And I'm sure the petroleum industry of the country also has reported to him to make things clearly to him. What he did was this. At the time he said, and I quote, we have checked the appropriation documents of 2023 and we have seen that the fuel subsidy has not been captured in the budget. At the time he was saying this to Nigerians, he was on the podium making his speech.
Yeah.
He has not even had a meeting with the president, with the vice president, not even seen any permanent secretary, not having even a spokesperson. Why the president did that, to my thinking, which is strategic, is to tell Nigerians that what I am telling you now is something that has already been done before. I don't want to get into government after 3-4 months and we were not being able to do anything. When he gets into government, there are some things that you should have been able to review, but only if you have the money to do that. He went into that. There is no money in the government. It's been alleged in so many newspapers in this country that monies were being printed to take care of so many government expenditure.
Was that true?
I cannot be able to confirm, but all what I can confirm to you is that there was no money at the time he comes in. What was the foreign reserve of the country? Nothing. So as a president, and a visionary president, he said it, and he's the only African president that has ever mentioned that in the history of this sub-Saharan Africa. He came to a national broadcast, not once, not twice. Even last week when he was coming from China, he stopped by in UK and he made that statement. He said to Nigerians, and I quote, "I know there are things, I know, and I wish there should be other ways that we can be able to come out of this mess. But there is not." He said we have to go through these tough times to enable us to become a country. But let me tell you the reason why Nigeria...
So it's only the citizens that needs to go through this tough time alone. What about the leaders themselves? They don't need to live by example and equally make sacrifices. Let the people see that, that as leaders, that you know, at the front burner, taking sacrifices, making sacrifices.
If you talk about sacrifices, I think there are different types of sacrifice. First of all, for every patriotic citizens of every country, including ours, Nigeria, everyone that have seen things going wrong and forwarded himself to be a president of a complicated nation that has built its population from 1999 an estimated population of 100 million. In 25 years, we were able to increase our population to 120%.
Sorry to cut you
off. Without growing the economy to take care of the citizenship.
Let's quickly take this call. Apologies to cut you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Are you there?
Hello.
Good
morning.
Good morning. You're welcome to the press. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay. My name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Maiduguri.
Mr. Mohammed, you have just 60 seconds. How's the flooding in Maiduguri?
Thank you, my brother, my sister. Olamide. Things are not easy. You know, we don't even tell you. Last I suggested to you, tell your KAFTAN TV organization to come and establish a KAFTAN TV station here.
Sure.
So that people will now know KAFTAN TV is having a concern for the pains of the people.
Arrangements are being made.
Listen, even if it is about one bag of rice that you're able to cook and share to the needy, everybody will know this KAFTAN TV is the first in the media houses in Nigeria to establish things like that.
KAFTAN TV doesn't run a charitable organization.
First media to do that.
All right.
Then, having said that, the issue of these pains in this country.
Yes.
When a pot is boiling, I want you to understand one thing. No part of that pot is good. Do you know that?
Absolutely.
Tell your reviewer, if things are hard, we are not to blame or send a blame game. No. Let us see what will be the solution to the problem. It's more better than continue apportioning blame. This man did, that man did. This is not the time for all this. No country in this world that is at ease. But we must find solutions to ourselves by ourselves. We are Nigerians. Let us tell ourselves the truth. You know, if you review how we were before, when Rashidi Yekini, Deji Okocha, Daniel Amokachi, all these boys who sacrifices their talent portray Nigeria to the highest level in their field of football. Why can't we also do the same thing to make this our country better rather than bringing in politics, tribalism, religious differences, when everybody in Nigeria today is under hardship? Why can't us look for the solution? Please tell Nigerians through your media, this KAFTAN TV, or that is having 54 million viewers. You know, you are really good. So, avoid in Nigeria in every look and corner of this country.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. It's well noted.
1 minute,
Thank you so much. You spoke beyond the minutes. Thank you so much. Well, I know that we cannot finish exhausting the issue of this petrol or no petrol issues because it's affecting all of our lives. But I think it's
painfully too.
But okay, being affecting at this point of time, we also should understand to grow a nation is not going to be an easy thing. But let me set an example to you, please. Okay. Just before we go into our next in 1999, when this same president was a governor of Lagos State, these same accusations are there in millions. But he closed his eyes and said, and I quote, he said, I as a leader my responsibility is to take the citizens where they should be, not where they want to go.
I hope the citizens survive till then.
I was going to say that. There has to be a nation that for leaders to
exactly.
rule.
Definitely.
Okay, our next story. I want us to take a look at the Edo politics and election coming up on Saturday. INEC deploys 5,000 beavers and 18,000 ad hoc workers. The military are there. Yesterday, the chief of general staff was in Edo State according to him, to ensure that Edo gets a free and fair and credible election. But my first question, is that the duty of the military?
First of all, because of the situations we're having in the country at the moment, there is nothing the president wants to take lightly. Anything
when you say situation, because there are lots of situations,
right?
So
which one
is specific?
Okay, particularly we are having the president is trying to see how we can minimize the insurgency in the country to a BRS minimum.
Okay.
And recently, the country has gone through protest, and we have seen how the turnout of the protests and what the result is. So, and you also have an elections, which we know some of the elections has history of being peaceful and some has a history of not being peaceful. So this is part of the elections that he's conducting as a president. He wants to make sure that every election is being peaceful and also free and fair. So if the army are in Edo State, to make sure, because security has no border, on making sure that those citizens are safe and their lives and properties are being protected. So if the security agencies have some information available to them that they need to be there, and that was part of the things that makes them
rather than being in Edo State. Sorry, I'm not cutting you short. Just hold that thought even as you continue with this. Rather than being in Edo State, don't you think there are areas that are being lavished by these terrorists that needs the attention of the military much more than Edo State? But as far as the elections are concerned, I think it's the police that are meant to be there right now until things get escalated. We haven't gotten to that point yet where they need the military and even the presence of the chief of general staff that it was directed a couple of weeks ago to go to Sokoto to ensure that the insecurity and the banditry is being tackled enough.
There are agents of securities everywhere in the country, even in those areas that the bandits are terrorizing. And you have seen the remarkable achievements that has been scored recently. Even the leader of the bandit himself has been eliminated. I think if there are any renowned...
There are always leaders.
Yeah.
One goes, another comes up.
Yeah, but coming in of Asiwaju, I think we're able to eliminate about 8 of the major bandit leaders. And this is the main leader, this Sububu.
Okay, let's put our focus on the election.
The Edo election. So if the military are there, the chief of defense staff, when they to assure the governor, because if you remember when
general staff,
chief of defense staff, if you remember, there are issues back and front. Either they want to sign peace accord, or this party is saying we doesn't want to sign. The PDP is running from signing it. The APC is saying come and sign. You understand? So, seeing all these things, there might likely be maybe this election might not be peaceful. So, himself, as the chief security officer of the country, has to go there and tell the governor, we are watching everyone and we want to make sure that these elections are peaceful. Him going there does not mean he's staying till the election, but is a signal that nobody should mess up the election, because the president has ordered him to make sure that that is the message from the president.
All right, so let's look at another angle. We've just touched on security. So let's talk about the dynamics that are likely to play out in the Edo elections. I'm seeing this right out to the story that says APC LP tackle PDP over Obaseki's 1 billion naira grant to market women. I think we literally laughed over this earlier.
Right.
Why now? Why is it now he's giving grants, 1 billion naira grant to market women? Because we know that Edo has to do with the grassroots, the people. In fact, Edo is not like other states where whenever election is being conducted, people just do things on the surface and anybody can come from anywhere and say, okay, I'm ready to vote. It's usually those in the grassroots that vote. And who are those in the grassroots? The market women and all of that. So is that some sort of a compromise on one side, especially knowing that this same governor his anointed candidate is part of those, you know, that are competing.
Yeah.
And just a few months to the end of his tenure, he also raised minimum wage. So is that speaking some sort of political language?
Well, basically I would say yes. And it's politicians and their styles. And but I think there are so many places where such things has happened and people has gone ahead to vote for their choices. So I think the 1 billion naira, if Edo people are seriously enough and they want a good governance, they might actually, if his candidate as a successor coming in is not suitable to them, the 1 billion naira should not change the minds of the market women. And if at the time when they were needing the money or the empowerment or the interventions and has not been given to them, they know that these monies are being given.
And I even hope the money will be released. It's not just political.
It will definitely be released, I believe.
Because at this point, a lot of them make a lot of promises, which at the end of the day, they don't keep to any of the promises.
But this very particular 1 billion naira, I think it will be released for the purpose of the election, to enable the PDP maybe, or them winning
the election,
the minds of the electorate, the market women. But the market women also should know, if they are listening to us now, it is a message to them that little peanuts that was given to them is going to be no more in the next maybe 3 months, 4 months, or maybe even 2 months.
If
and they are going to stay
have it up to
till another 4 years, most likely even 8 years if they
absolutely
go. So they should know what they do. I am part of people who are advocating for good governance, and also I believe that good candidates should also be given a chances to change the narrative of their societies. But being an APC member, I know Obaseki is not going anywhere with his 1 billion naira. It's just he has given them what he should have even given them.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay. So what about, sorry to cut you, what about the influence of, because most of the time people look at APC, PDP, but we have the Labour Party with a very strong influence, and we have Peter Obi already conversing for Olumide Akpata. So what do you think the dynamics might be? Because we know that Nigerians, there's this sentiment of Mama, Papa, Pikin when it comes to the Labour Party and when it comes to Obi, the leader of the party at the moment. So what do you make of this? How do you see panning out?
As an APC member that he is,
yes,
I think because the APC have like always been like undermining the Labour Party according to them.
But they say it's the last general election.
They say that the Labour Party are campaigning for them, APC.
So, well, it is more or less, you know, a growing of our democracy. The Nigerian democracy is growing very fast, and I like that. And the awareness within the country, within the political cycle in the country, or I think the process of bringing leaders in the country is actually getting to where it should get to. But most importantly, I think if you want to compare the performance of their presidential candidate in the whole of his region, the southeastern region, he was able to provide. They were able to win only one sitting governor at the moment, and I think it was because of the credibility of the person contesting at that time, and him himself, he came number 3rd, so he's still struggling to understand why he was not advised very well, or maybe the team, his team is not intact at that moment. So, but in Edo election, this same candidate that is contesting under their party, under Labour Party, was their governorship candidate. And I think the performance is not going to be different from the last election.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, it's still going to be the 3rd position.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Because I don't want us to leave without talking about this drama between EFCC and Yahaya Bello.
Right.
What do you make of this drama? Because how can the white lion be suddenly missing? A lion missing? How? Like, what's really going on? Because it's long coming.
A lion.
Well,
yes, I just want to put that in context.
I think first of all, let me appreciate the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by not taking it lightly in fighting corruptions. It's a series of engagement between government officials and the anti-graft agency, not only the White Lion, but so many others. I think a commissioner of finance from Kaduna State also was arrested by the ICPC in Lagos International Airport. So do not forget, when there was scandal even within the government, a lot of people were being set aside. You have seen recently it has happened. So the government is very serious about fighting whoever might have squandered the public funds. But importantly, the hit and hide in between the former governor and the EFCC.
Yes.
I think first of all they have issued him an invitation which has not been honored. Again, he has been declared wanted by the agency.
There's a claim by his media aide that he has honored the invitation.
That was yesterday.
And then he left without being interrogated. Then why have they been looking for him?
Thank you very much. The agency has said that as far as they're concerned, he's still what? Wanted. You don't tell the agency how they work because it is their work. The media aids their own is to propagate or is to bring out what has happened. So what they know is that he went there with a sitting governor inside the sitting governor's vehicle and nobody has talked to him, or however they put it there. That reason is based known to the agency.
You know,
and
okay.
If you look at the other part of the story, the same person that said, I am here, look at the story very clear. They said there is also an exchange of whatever in between some security agencies and the EFCC in one of the government lodging. So if I went and I have not seen anybody that talks to me, and now the people say, oh, maybe you were in our place and now we have come to you again. So why all of the sudden hiding again? So I think this issue is going to be resolved in between the agency and the person of Governor Yahaya Bello. As time goes on, they're going to find a good ground for him to maybe to re-honor the invitation in a way that the AFCC might have wanted him to honor the invitation.
But the thing is, he has been away for a couple of months, all right? And now that, according to him, he has been able to meet with his family and his legal advisor and has decided to turn himself in. So why would he come back and still continue the hide and seek?
If you follow Nigerians in the Intergraph agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission history, have you ever seen any former governor or any alleged person, government officials that has taken public funds? Have you ever seen anyone that has been escorted by the state governor? And if you remember, there was also a time
I was going to ask why so much influence of the state governor and even the people of his state, that they are it's not like the agency is fighting against them, they're fighting for them. Somebody took your funds away and you're supporting the person.
And if you remember, there are incidents happened in his house in Abuja when they came to invite him, or he came to say one O A B C D, and they came to pick him. And what happened? The governor, fortunately the governor is around the metropolis of Abuja.
They resisted.
He quickly ran there and picked his principal out of the house.
Right.
But as time goes
how far
on,
we can
you know, whatever started, it has an ending time.
All right.
So I believe that he will also approach
everything that has a beginning has an ending, right?
And because this
Thank
thing
you so
happening
much.
is an image to our country.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your time today. Usman, Aliyu, Waziri, really appreciate you for your time today. Thank you so much. All right, viewers, that's what the cuttings on today's show. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, and we sincerely apologize for not taking all of the calls. Our time was already fast spent. I am Olamide Alhassan.